I had seen a clip from LA Confidential showing a CHP car hit a male on a bike, then drive away. I didn't hear much more about it. Sara Cervantes. Her 17-year-old son was the person hit by the CHP officer in the LA Confidential video. I see many posts of her heartache and stress and the complete failure of the CHP department, not identifying the officer or even just treating her with the slightest respect. So I asked if I could call her so she could tell me about her son, what his injuries are, and what the CHP has done in response to their officer committing a hit and run. I have met many families who have lost a loved one to police, sheriff, and usually they have lost one loved one. When I tell you this woman has lost 3 family members to police, then a CHP officer commits a hit and run on her 17-year-old son, I'm sure you are feeling what I felt when she told me her story. Her best friend Alex Flores was shot and killed by LAPD while suffering from mental illness on November 19th, 2019. Then her cousin Victor Valencia was shot and killed by LAPD January 11th, 2020. He was killed because he was mistaken for a description of a black man with a gun. He was Hispanic and had a bike part in his hand. Then October 7th, 2020, Nick Burgos, her brother-in-law, was killed by a deputy sheriff. He was inside the UCLA Medical Center in Torrance. He was an inpatient who checked himself in because he suffered from a mental illness and knew he needed help and needed to be medicated. And he was shot and killed. And now this. Her own son, almost taken from her. He loves the lowrider scene, she told me. She said it keeps him out of trouble. She told me she wasn't with him that night. He can be trusted to go alone. She didn't know what had happened till he came home that night, walked in the door, and collapsed. They took him to the hospital, and he told her what happened. Because of the hit and run, he suffered a concussion and a fractured shoulder.
Because it's like my son, and you don't even do that to an animal. Like, this is a human being. Like, this is somebody's child. This is my baby. Like, my son, he's my oldest, and so he's been on marches with me. He's fought for people, people's family. It's just he's traumatized right now. He can't function, and it sucks because my son is like so outgoing and always smiling, and officers just don't know what they did to my child. Actually went yesterday to make a counter report. Yeah, so we went in there, and they were like, what is it that you want? And then I was like, one of your officers hit my son and left the scene with his vehicle, Their whole face changed, like, oh, we didn't know you guys were gonna come. This is crazy. I have the right to know what happened to my child, who did this to my child. I literally went to the extent of knowing the VIN number and the license plate to that car. And he refused to let me make a report. He was making it seem like I was arguing with him, and I was like, I'm his mother. I'm not arguing with you. I just want to know what happened and if what's going to happen to these officers for not attending to my son. And he refused to give me any info. Basically, he said he don't have to do nothing. And that I felt so much disrespect. Like, that's my child. Like, that's my kid, my baby. Like, you don't treat him like he's not worth anything, because he's worth a lot. It kills me inside, because how many more kids have they done this? My son is like, he's the sweetest thing ever. Just so wonderful. Like every mom could say that about their kid. This kid is like, he's selfless. He thinks about everybody else but himself, and it's crazy. Like, they just left him there.
This is unacceptable. A CHP, a California Highway Patrol officer, hit a minor riding his bike and left the scene. Not only did he leave the scene, multiple CHP officers that were there also fled the scene. Thank you guys for watching. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Go ahead and subscribe to LA Confidential. Head over to their Instagrams, and thanks for watching.